Silence is a dimension often overlooked in our noisy, fast-paced world. It rises like a subtle, often uncomfortable cloak, inviting us to dive into the depths of our psyche. From a Jungian perspective, silence is not merely the absence of sound, but a sacred space where the shadow, the hidden and unrecognized parts of our being, can be confronted and integrated. Carl Jung believed that the shadow harbored both our primitive instincts and our weaknesses, fears, and unexpressed longings. By silencing the outer voice, we create space to hear the inner voice, which is often drowned out by the noise of social expectations and self-image. When we speak without reflection, we may project our insecurities and shadows onto others. Reckless communication often becomes an echo of internal conflicts, manifesting in thoughtless words that wound, misinform, or distort the truth. In this context, silence is a powerful tool that allows us to pause and observe what resides within us. It invites us to question, what do I truly want to express? What are the motivations driving my speech? This pause is essential, for it is in this space of quietude that the shadow can be recognized and integrated, transforming into a creative and authentic force. The practice of silence helps us cultivate a deeper awareness of ourselves. By quieting ourselves, we are forced to confront the truths we often avoid. Silence can be uncomfortable, but it is in that discomfort that transformation occurs. It compels us to look inward and confront the parts of ourselves we would prefer to ignore. This confrontation is, in essence, a process of individuation, the Jungian path to the realization of the self, where all parts of our psyche, including the shadow, are acknowledged and reconciled. Moreover, silence also connects us with the ancestral wisdom that resides in the collective unconscious. Jung posited that this layer of the human psyche contains collective experiences and wisdom that transcend the individual. When we allow ourselves silence, we can access these universal truths that guide us in our life mission. The connection with the collective unconscious is an opportunity to learn from the archetypes that have shaped human experience throughout history. These symbols and images, which emerge in silence, can guide us on our personal journey, offering insights that help us discern our purpose. Silence is not only a form of active listening but also an opportunity to develop inner dialogue. Active listening involves not only hearing the words of others but also understanding the subtleties of nonverbal communication and the emotions that permeate interactions. In the space of silence, we can learn to listen to ourselves and, consequently, to others. This skill is vital for self-knowledge and for building healthy relationships. In silence, we can reflect on our own emotions, understand our reactions, and develop empathy towards others. True self-knowledge emerges from the ability to listen to and integrate the various voices within us, as well as the voices of others. Another aspect of silence that deserves exploration is the power of silenced words. Often, unspoken words carry profound meanings and reveal emotions that go beyond verbalization. The choice to silence certain expressions can reflect self-control and emotional maturity. Sometimes, what is left unsaid is as powerful as what is verbalized. Silence can be a space of reflection, where we ponder the consequences of our words and decide whether and how to share them. This self-awareness is an advanced stage of personal development, where words are chosen with care and intention, reflecting a mind striving to comprehend the complexity of human experience. The hero's journey, a central concept in Jung's work, can also be illuminated by the practice of silence. The hero's journey is a deep crossing, filled with challenges and discoveries. Inner silence is a constant companion on this journey, as it is in introspection that we find the answers to the questions that haunt us. Silent reflection allows us to discern our true purpose and the choices that shape our life. It is an invitation to explore the labyrinths of the soul, where we can discover not only who we are but who we can become. The manifestation and inner will are intrinsically linked to silence. In a world filled with distractions, the act of quieting the mind and the environment around us creates a fertile space for the manifestation of our deepest desires. When we connect with our inner will, aligning it with the divine, we become more capable of recognizing our life mission. Silence allows us to step away from external influences and access the wisdom that resides within us. This intimate connection with our essence is fundamental for the full realization of our potential. Thus, throughout this reflection, we realize that silence is a powerful tool on the path of self-knowledge and in fulfilling our life mission. It invites us to confront the shadow, access the collective unconscious, develop active listening, and honor the power of unspoken words. Silence is, ultimately, a gateway to personal and spiritual transformation. As we explore silence, we are guided to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universal truths that surround us. This prepares us for the next stage of our journey, the collective unconscious and inner wisdom. What does silence reveal about the truths that connect us all? How can we access this ancestral wisdom to guide our actions and decisions? The quest for these answers leads us to a profound dive into the waters of our collective being, where human experience intertwines in a vast tapestry of stories, myths, and archetypes that shape and inspire us. Silence, in its essence, is a door that opens to the vast territory of the unconscious. Carl Jung, in his quest for understanding the human psyche, emphasized the importance of diving into the depths of the soul, where both light and shadows reside. In this context, understanding that "this is why God wants you to keep your mouth shut" invites us to consider silence as a powerful tool for self-knowledge and the integration of the shadow. When we allow ourselves to be silent, we create space for the hidden aspects of our psyche to surface, revealing truths that often remain obscured by the words we utter. The shadow, according to Jung, represents everything we repress or deny within ourselves. It is the parts of our personality that do not fit into the narratives we construct for ourselves, those that we may consider unacceptable or ugly. By speaking incessantly, we may actually be avoiding confronting these shadowy parts. In silence, we are forced to face what we do not want to see. It is an act of courage, as what is revealed can be uncomfortable. However, it is in this space of introspection that we can begin to integrate these forgotten parts, allowing them to become allies rather than adversaries. Imagine standing in front of a mirror, but instead of just seeing your reflection, you start to notice the nuances of your shadow. The words you could have said but didn't reveal themselves as echoes of what you truly are. Silence, then, is not just the absence of sound, but an invitation to contemplation. It is in this state that the true work of self-knowledge occurs. When we silence the outside, we can finally listen to what resonates within us. The shadow, which often haunts us, can be transformed into wisdom. It is a delicate dance between light and darkness, where each silent step brings us closer to the wholeness of our being. Moreover, silence connects us to the collective unconscious, a fundamental concept in Jung's work. This reservoir of human experience and wisdom transcends the individual, linking us to a vast legacy of ancestral knowledge. When we choose silence, we create a conducive space to access this wisdom. The universal truths that dwell in the collective unconscious can guide us in our life mission. What is the life mission but the expression of what has already been lived by those who came before us? Our personal experiences intertwine with the stories of our ancestors, and silence is the thread that allows us to connect those points. In a world saturated with noise and distractions, it is a challenge to find moments of quiet. However, the practice of silence can be transformative. It is in this space that we can hear internal voices telling us what we really need to do, who we really are. God, or the divine essence, wants us to be silent not as an imposition, but as an opportunity to reconnect with something greater. Silence allows us to hear the beats of our hearts and, more importantly, the wisdom of the universe echoing within us. In silencing ourselves, we are not only stepping away from spoken words, but we are also preparing for active listening. Active listening, as an act of love and respect, is one of the pillars of self-knowledge. By silencing our own inner and outer voices, we make space to hear others. This exchange is not just communication, it is a dance of souls that recognize and respect each other. When we genuinely listen, we do not merely hear the words, but also capture the emotions, intentions, and untold stories. This skill is essential in our quest for self-knowledge and in understanding our role in the world. Active listening is a pathway to develop empathy. By listening attentively, we can put ourselves in the other's shoes, understanding their struggles and victories. This deep connection is fundamental to fulfilling our life mission. Every act of listening is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to illuminate the shadows that surround us. In silence, we find the necessary space for reflection and understanding. What is revealed is not only about us but also about the world around us and the interactions that shape our lives. Another vital aspect of silence is the power of silenced words. Often, unspoken words carry deep meanings. They can express love, pain, regret, or wisdom. Self-control in communication, by choosing what to say and what not to say, reflects an advanced stage of personal development. Words have weight, and their selection must be made carefully. Silence, in this context, can be a form of respect, both for ourselves and for others. When we speak only when we have something significant to contribute, we honor the essence of communication. Silence is also a crucial component in the hero's journey, a recurring theme in human narratives. Every hero faces challenges that require introspection and reflection. The hero's path is not merely a series of actions, it is an internal journey. In silence, the hero finds the wisdom that guides them in their mission. It is where they confront their own shadows and discover their true purpose. For each of us, the hero's journey manifests in different ways, but silence will always be an integral part of this process. The introspection that silence provides is essential for discovering our true passions and goals. It is in this space that we can question the expectations others have of us and instead listen to the inner voice that calls us to authenticity. Each step on the path of self-knowledge brings us closer to a fuller and more meaningful life. Silence allows us to explore the depths of our being, where the divine spark resides that drives us to live according to our true essence. Silence becomes a space of manifestation, where inner will aligns with the divine. In this state of quietude, we are able to connect with our life mission in a deeper and more authentic way. External distractions may pull us away from our true essence, but in silence, we find clarity. Manifestation, in this context, is not merely about the desire to achieve something external, but about the realization of who we are at the core of our existence. Silence teaches us to trust the inner wisdom that guides us, allowing truth to reveal itself within our being. As we explore the relationship between silence, self-knowledge, and life mission, we realize that keeping our mouths shut is not a limitation, but an opportunity for growth. Silence is an invitation to introspection, listening, and connection with the collective unconscious. It is a powerful tool for integrating the shadow and discovering the wisdom that resides within us. By silencing, we open space for empathy, understanding, and true communication. As we move on to the next topic, the art of active listening, we begin to unravel the importance of listening not only to ourselves but also to others. Listening becomes a sacred practice, a skill that allows us to connect with the world on a deeper level. This continuity will lead us to explore how active listening becomes an essential pillar in the journey of self-knowledge and the fulfillment of our life mission. Silence is often misinterpreted as an absence of communication when, in fact, it is a fertile space where true listening can occur. Carl Jung, in his relentless quest to understand the complexities of the human being, invited us to explore the depths of the soul, and it is in this context that we must consider the importance of listening, both to ourselves and to others. Active listening is a practice that requires a deep commitment to the present moment, a willingness to be open to what is being said, but, more importantly, to what is not being said. In this space, words become merely the surface of a deep and mysterious lake. When we dive into this lake, we find not only the truths that inhabit our own souls but also the truths that intertwine with the experiences and stories of others. This process of listening is a dance between what is expressed and what remains hidden, and it is through this that we can begin to align ourselves with our true life mission. When we set out to listen actively, we initiate a process of introspection that allows us to confront our own shadows. Jung warned us about the importance of integrating these shadow aspects of our psyche so that we can become more complete human beings. Silence creates a safe space for us to reflect on our experiences, emotions, and reactions. In this listening space, we can begin to discern the internal voices that guide us, as well as the external voices that often distract us from our true purpose. Listening to oneself is an act of courage. It is an invitation to traverse the often forgotten paths of our consciousness, where wisdom connects us to the collective unconscious. This vast reservoir of knowledge and experience, from which universal truths emerge, awaits those who are willing to listen. Active listening, therefore, is not limited to interpersonal communication. It is an internal dialogue, an intimate conversation that allows us to access the ancestral wisdom that resides within our being. In this silent space, we can find the answers we seek, not in elaborate words, but in genuine and intuitive feelings. Furthermore, by becoming more attentive listeners, we cultivate empathy and understanding, essential qualities in building healthy and meaningful relationships. The ability to listen to others allows us to tune into their experiences and emotions, creating a space of connection that transcends words. Jung emphasized the importance of relationships in shaping our identity, and listening becomes a bridge that helps us build these connections. When we truly listen, we not only acknowledge the pain and joy of others but also become mirrors that reflect our own humanity. This exercise of active listening invites us into a state of presence, where we can free ourselves from external distractions and connect with what truly matters. In silence, we find a space to reflect on our actions and decisions, allowing internal wisdom to guide us. The questions that arise in this moment of introspection are the keys that unlock the doors of self-discovery. Who am I? What do I truly desire? What is my life mission? By listening to the answers that emerge, we can begin to chart a more authentic path aligned with our true selves. Silence, therefore, is not merely an absence of sound, but a powerful presence that invites us to explore the depths of being. It is in this space of quietude that we can hear the whispers of our soul, guiding us toward our purpose. As we become more proficient in the art of listening, we begin to realize that true knowledge and understanding go beyond words. They reside in the connection we establish with others and with ourselves. As we move forward on this journey of active listening, we also find the need to recognize the power of silenced words. In a world saturated with instant and superficial communication, self-control in verbal expression becomes a sign of maturity and personal development. Jung warns us about the dangers of thoughtless words, which can hurt and distort the truth. Thus, cultivating silence and reflection is not only a spiritual practice but a conscious choice that reflects an advanced stage of development. Unspoken words often carry profound meanings and can be sources of wisdom. By choosing silence at crucial moments, we allow the depth of our being to manifest in ways that words often cannot express. It is in this space that we find the true essence of what we wish to communicate. Active listening, therefore, is not limited to the reception of information but expands into understanding what lies behind the words, where true intention resides. Thus, the journey of self-knowledge, illuminated by active listening, leads us to a deeper understanding of our role in the world and in the lives of others. Each interaction becomes an opportunity for growth and learning, where we can discover new facets of ourselves. As we become more attuned and receptive, we are invited to reflect on how our experiences intertwine with the stories of others, creating a rich and complex tapestry that constitutes the human condition. On this path, silence transforms into a powerful ally in the quest for clarity and understanding. As we delve deeper into active listening, we begin to perceive that true wisdom is not found only in answers but also in the questions we ask ourselves. This ongoing journey of self-exploration takes us to a space where we can manifest our inner will and align with the divine, allowing our life mission to unfold in an organic and fluid manner. The connection between silence, active listening, and life mission is a deeply interwoven theme. As we continue to explore these concepts, we are led to a new understanding of how manifestation and inner will intertwine within our being. Silence provides us with a sacred space to hear the voice of the divine, a presence that guides us toward the greater purpose that awaits us. Thus, as we embark on this journey of self-knowledge and personal development, we are constantly challenged to embrace silence as an ally in our search for meaning and authenticity. As we move to the next stage of this reflection, we are invited to explore the power of silenced words. How do these unspoken words shape our experiences and interactions? How can we learn to value silence and pause in a world that often prioritizes speed and superficiality? Through understanding the power that resides in silenced words, we can discover new dimensions in our communication and in the way we relate to ourselves and others, further deepening our journey of self-knowledge and connection. The power of silenced words is a theme that resonates in the depths of the human psyche, especially when we consider the nature of self-knowledge and life purpose. From a Jungian perspective, we can observe that the words that go unspoken often carry a greater weight than those we utter. They settle in our unconscious, creating a space for reflection and introspection that is often neglected in a world that values constant verbalization and fluent discourse. This silence, far from being a mere void, is a fertile ground where the seeds of true understanding can germinate. When we speak of self-control in communication, we are referring to a skill that goes beyond simple verbal restraint. It is an advanced stage of personal development, where the individual learns to discern between what needs to be expressed and what should remain hidden until it is mature enough to be revealed. This process is closely linked to the integration of the shadow, a central concept in Jung's work. The shadow represents the unrecognized aspects of our personality, those traits and feelings we prefer not to bring to light, out of fear or shame. When we allow ourselves to remain silent, we are, in a sense, making space for these hidden aspects to emerge, allowing for an internal confrontation that can lead to healing and acceptance. Silence, therefore, becomes a powerful ally in the journey of self-discovery. Instead of simply filling the space with words that may be empty or devoid of meaning, we are invited to contemplate what is happening within us. This introspection is not just a contemplative practice but an act of courage that requires us to face the truths that often disturb us. When we keep our mouths shut, we create a sacred space for reflection, where we can ask ourselves, what do I really feel? What are the emotions that inhabit my interior but have yet to be verbalized? This internal journey can lead us to profound insights and revelations that shape our understanding of ourselves and, consequently, our life mission. It is in quietude that we often find the true essence of our voice. The silenced words are not merely an absence of sound but a powerful presence that can connect us with our inner self. They hold deep meanings, unprocessed experiences, and unexpressed desires. When we manage to access this space of silence, we are able to comprehend the complexity of our feelings, the nuances of our emotions, and the depth of our thoughts. This understanding does not come merely from verbalization but from the willingness to listen, both to ourselves and to the world around us. Self-control in communication also reflects a recognition that not everything needs to be said. In fact, it is often the choice to remain silent that allows us to avoid unnecessary conflicts and maintain harmony in our relationships. In a world where communication has become instantaneous and often superficial, the practice of silencing oneself may seem counterintuitive. However, it is exactly this practice that leads us to a deeper space of connection with others and with ourselves. When we choose not to speak, we are allowing the other person to express themselves, giving their words room to resonate. This not only enriches communication but also offers us a broader perspective on what it truly means to listen. The power of silenced words is intrinsically linked to our ability to manifest and create. Silence is a space of potentiality, where our thoughts and intentions can be shaped before being expressed. When we allow ourselves a moment of pause, a silent reflection, we are giving ourselves the opportunity to align our inner will with what is divine and true. This connection is crucial for us to engage with our life mission authentically and meaningfully. The unspoken words can be a reflection of our inner wisdom, a wisdom that is often deeper than verbal expressions can capture. In this sense, silence becomes a place of inner manifestation, where the true essence of being can emerge. This is a space where we can contemplate our purpose, reflect on our experiences, and shape our life trajectory without the distractions of the outside world. By cultivating this ability to silence ourselves, we not only promote our own personal growth but also create the opportunity to positively impact those around us. The relationship between silence and the hero's journey becomes evident when we realize that many pivotal moments in a hero's life happen in silence. It is in introspection that the hero discovers their deepest truths, faces their fears and doubts, and ultimately finds the courage to move forward. Inner silence is an invitation to reflection, to seek answers that cannot be found in external turmoil. It is in this sacred space that true transformation occurs, where the hero reconnects with their essence and discovers the purpose that will guide their journey. When we look at this process through a Jungian lens, it becomes clear that silence is a vital tool for personal fulfillment. It offers us the chance to confront our shadow, access the collective unconscious, develop active listening, and finally, manifest our true will. By honoring the silenced words, we are, in fact, recognizing the richness of our own human experience. Each unspoken word is a lost opportunity for connection but also an invitation to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world. As we progress on this journey of self-knowledge and personal development, it is crucial to remember that silence is not an end in itself but a means to an end. It prepares us for the manifestation of our true selves, allowing our inner will to align with the divine. This alignment is what leads us to the fulfillment of our life mission, a calling that resonates in our deepest being and longs to be lived authentically. In continuing this reflection, we encounter the next theme, the hero's path and inner silence. How can silence be a fundamental actor in the journey of self-discovery and the search for a greater purpose? What challenges do we face when turning inward, and how does this process transform us into the heroes of our own stories? These questions will guide us in our next exploration, where we will see how silence intertwines with the choices that shape our lives and helps us find the path to true fulfillment. Inner silence is one of the great challenges, and at the same time, one of the greatest opportunities that a human being can encounter on their journey of self-discovery. For many, the idea of keeping one's mouth shut, of silencing oneself, may seem like an invitation to isolation or passivity. However, as Carl Jung taught us, true psychological and spiritual growth is often found in the depths of our being, where the external voice is silenced, and the internal voice becomes clearer and more resonant. In the context of the hero's journey, inner silence emerges as a sacred space for introspection and reflection. This path, which is more than just a simple narrative of adventures and challenges, is a process of individuation, a Jungian concept that refers to the integration of the various aspects of the self. For this individuation to occur, the hero or heroine must distance themselves from the distractions of the outside world and plunge into the deep waters of their psyche. Silence becomes an ally in this process, as it allows for listening to the inner voices that are often muffled by the noise of everyday life. By silencing themselves, the hero begins to confront their shadows, those aspects of themselves that have been relegated to darkness out of fear, shame, or uncertainty. Jung described the shadow as a side of the psyche that contains all our unwanted and repressed traits. When we remain constantly in dialogue with the external world, we lose the opportunity to examine these hidden parts of ourselves. Silence, therefore, is not just an absence of words, but a presence that offers space for truth to emerge. It is in this silent space that we can observe our emotions, our weaknesses, and our strengths, allowing for the integration of the shadow to occur. The hero who ventures into silence discovers that the true struggle is not against external forces, but against the internal limitations that prevent them from becoming whole. Inner silence is the fertile ground where reflection transforms into self-knowledge. By stepping away from external voices, the hero embraces their own voice, the one that is often drowned out by others' expectations and social conveniences. This inner voice reveals the true purpose, the life mission that each of us carries, often without knowing it. Silence is also an invitation to active listening, not only to oneself but to the world around. When we allow ourselves to be silent, we begin to hear the nuances and whispers of our unconscious, which communicate through dreams, intuitions, and insights. It is a profound process that connects us to the collective unconscious, where ancestral wisdom and universal truths that transcend time and space reside. Jung believed that by accessing this collective unconscious, we can align ourselves with a wisdom that guides us in our life mission. Silence, therefore, becomes a portal, a passage to this wisdom that awaits discovery. It is interesting to note that when we talk about silence, we often think of the absence of sound. However, Silence can also be understood as a form of communication, a communication that transcends words. Silenced words can carry deep meanings, and the deliberate choice not to speak can reflect an advanced stage of personal development. In this context, the hero is not the one who speaks a lot, but rather the one who knows when to be silent. They understand that wisdom does not reside solely in what we say, but in what we choose not to say. Self-control in communication is a skill that develops through self-knowledge. As we become more aware of our emotions and motivations, we learn to filter our words, to choose what truly deserves to be expressed. Silence becomes a space of power, where the hero can reflect on their intentions before manifesting in the world. This self-control is essential for communication to become a tool of transformation, rather than a source of conflict and confusion. As the hero advances on their journey, inner silence reveals itself not just as a moment of pause, but as a means of manifestation. It is in this quiet space that the inner will aligns with the divine, allowing the person to connect with their life mission. Silence, therefore, is not a passive state, but an active act of creation and manifestation. It is in this moment that the deepest ideas and desires begin to materialize. By silencing themselves, the hero opens space for the universe to manifest through their will. In this context, we can see how inner silence intertwines with manifestation and inner will. When we silence external voices and the distractions of the world, we become receptacles for the truths that dwell within us. It is here that we realize that each of us has a unique calling, a mission that must be fulfilled. Silence transforms into a sacred space where this mission can be heard and honored. As the hero delves deeper into their journey, they discover that silence is not merely an absence of sound, but a powerful presence that connects them to something greater. The inner will, when aligned with the divine, becomes a creative force that transcends the limitations of the ego and the material world. It is in this space of silence that true manifestation occurs, allowing the hero to live their life mission with authenticity and purpose. Thus, the hero's journey is marked by moments of introspection and reflection, where inner silence becomes an essential tool for self-knowledge and the fulfillment of their life mission. The hero's path is, therefore, an invitation to explore the depths of the psyche, confront the shadow, access the wisdom of the collective unconscious, and ultimately manifest the inner truth. As we prepare to explore the next theme, manifestation and inner will, we are invited to reflect on how silence, far from being a state of inaction, is, in fact, a powerful force for transformation and creation. What can we manifest in our lives when we allow ourselves to silence distractions and tune into our true essence? This is the question that will lead us to the next stage of our inner journey. Silence, often undervalued in a society that values words and incessant communication, possesses undeniable power. It is in silence that we find a conducive space for the manifestation of our inner will, where the connection to the divine becomes clearer and more accessible. In a world filled with noise, the act of silence is not merely an absence of sound, it is, in fact, an invitation to introspection and the discovery of our true life mission. When we talk about manifestation, we often refer to a desire, a dream, or an aspiration that we wish to bring into reality. However, this manifestation cannot be effective if it is not aligned with our deepest essence and inner will. Silence offers us the opportunity to disconnect from external expectations and the voices that surround us, allowing our true internal voice to manifest. It is in this space of quietude that we have the chance to hear not only our longings but also the guidance that comes from the collective unconscious, a rich source of wisdom and universal truths. Carl Jung taught us that the human psyche is composed of various parts, including the persona, the shadow, and the self. The persona is the mask we wear to interact with the world, while the shadow represents the aspects of ourselves that we prefer to hide or ignore. The manifestation of our true inner will requires us to confront these hidden aspects, and silence becomes an essential tool in this process. By quieting ourselves, we can look inward, examine our motivations, and confront the shadow that resides within us. The journey toward manifestation is often filled with challenges. External voices, those that tell us what we should want, how we should act, and who we should be, can be deafening. However, by seeking silence, we find a safe space where we can question these voices and reconnect with our most authentic desires. It is an opportunity to ask ourselves, what do I truly want, and what is my mission here? This process of self-discovery, nourished by silence, allows us to filter out external influences and tune into our inner will. Silence is, therefore, not a form of passivity but an active act of manifestation. When we quiet ourselves, we allow ideas and feelings to organize within us. It is a process of alignment between what we desire and what we truly are. This alignment is fundamental for us to move forward toward our life mission, which, according to Jung, is a vital aspect of self-development. The mission is not just what we do, but who we are at our core and how we express that essence in the world. During this manifestation process, silence also allows us to access the wisdom of the collective unconscious. Jung believed that we all share a common psychic heritage, composed of archetypes and symbols that transcend time and space. In silence, we can attune ourselves to this ancestral wisdom, receiving insights and guidance that can illuminate our path. It is as if, by quieting our internal and external voices, we open a channel to knowledge that has always been available but that we often ignore amidst the noise of everyday life. Moreover, silence provides an opportunity for deep reflection. Often, we lead lives full of activities and commitments, without realizing that true clarity about our life mission can only be found when we pause to reflect. The act of sitting in silence, whether in meditation, on a solitary walk, or in moments of contemplation, allows answers to emerge from within. This space of quietude is where ideas form, intuitions reveal themselves, and decisions become clearer. It is important to emphasize that silence is not an absence of communication but a different way of communicating. When we quiet ourselves, we often become more receptive to what is around us. We can hear our feelings, our emotions, and also the voices of those around us. This active listening, which originates from silence, is essential for self-knowledge. By listening to ourselves, we develop greater empathy and understanding, not only towards ourselves but also towards others. This deeper connection allows us to live more authentically and aligned with our mission. The manifestation of our inner will, therefore, should not be seen as an isolated act but as part of a continuous process of self-discovery and personal development. By silencing ourselves, we not only seek to understand our own desires but also connect with a broader network of meaning and purpose. This connection is fundamental for us to contribute to the world meaningfully, fulfilling our life mission fully. The relationship between silence and manifestation is also a matter of discipline. The ability to remain silent and listen to oneself requires a certain level of self-control and emotional maturity. As we progress on our journey of self-discovery, we become more aware of the words we choose to use and the voices we decide to listen to. This discipline allows us to filter what is truly important and helps us avoid distractions that can lead us away from our true path. Silence can also act as a reflection of our internal disposition. When we are in conflict or confused, it is common for us to feel compelled to speak, seek external validation, or justify our actions. However, by allowing ourselves to remain silent, we find the courage to face our fears and insecurities. It is a moment of vulnerability, where we can strip away our defenses and connect with the essence of who we truly are. This connection is crucial for the manifestation of our deepest desires, as it is in this space of authenticity that we find the clarity needed to act. In Jungian tradition, the process of individuation, the path to becoming who we truly are, is often accompanied by confronting the shadow and seeking a deeper meaning in life. Silence plays a fundamental role in this process, as it allows us to confront the hidden parts of ourselves and integrate these experiences into our psyche. This integration is vital for us to manifest our true will and live authentically. Finally, when we consider the idea that God wants you to keep quiet, we can reinterpret this statement as an invitation to silence the external and internal voices that distract us from our true mission. Silence becomes a sacred space where we can reconnect with our purpose, hear the wisdom of the collective unconscious, and manifest our inner will in alignment with the divine. Therefore, by cultivating silence in our lives, We not only honor our personal journey but also contribute to a more conscious and connected world. Thus, the practice of silence is not just a technique or a tool, it is a path to inner transformation. By allowing space for our inner voices to manifest, we can truly embrace our life mission and live with authenticity and purpose. Ultimately, silence invites us to dive into our depths, to discover who we are, and to align with the greater force that guides us on our journey. It is in this sacred space that true manifestation occurs, allowing our lives to become an expression of the divine will.